One of the important things for you to know is that it's because of your support that we're able to come to you from the land of Israel. It's because of your financial support. It's because of people standing with us. And, you make it possible for us to be here to bring you news, and not just news, but as we were saying before, what's really happening behind the scenes. And one of the ways you can do that is by becoming a supporter, standing with us on a regular monthly basis. You can go to our donate page, there's information there. If you'd like to know more about how you can stand with us on a monthly basis, then please contact us at info@israelfirst.org. Another thing you can do is you can get our newsletters. There's also a Signal group. You just need to send us your phone number via our email, which is info@israelfirst.org, and we will join you onto our Signal list. You can also join our weekly e-newsletter list, and you can also see news every day on the media page. You go to Israel News and receive all the latest news. Now, as we were saying
on our website.
On the website, as we were saying before, one of the concerning things is the one world government and the moving of populations across the world. This is, by the way, not something new, Natalie, but there's been movement of populations since the beginning of time across the world. What is concerning is the extent that we're living in across the world, that people are doing this now. Now,
which make the people much more vulnerable, and they are more controllable.
Right.
So again, it's part of the game.
Yeah, and if you are being moved from your natural country to another country, all the normal things, all your normal rights suddenly go out of the window. So, suddenly these people no longer have the right to, for example, vote in their local area and things like that. Which are very important rights. And suddenly democracy is very affected. Now in Israel, we are having 25,000 non-Jewish Ukrainian refugees coming into the country. Interior Minister Ayelet Sheked announced that Israel will allow 25,000 Ukrainians who are not eligible for immigration under the law of return to stay in the country as refugees. She further decided to cancel the requirement for refugees to deposit 10,000 shekels, $3,000 upon entering the country. 6 stations for processing immigration applications for refugees have been made along the Ukrainian border in 4 countries. Now, one of the important things for you to realize is Israel is a very small country, a population of less than the size of London, and 25,000 refugees makes a huge amount of difference. Less than, I think it's something like 7 million the population, and suddenly to have this
9 million,
right,
9 million,
right,
in all,
9 million,
but like 7 million of Jews.
Right.
But when you are in Israel, one person coming can just change the country.
Now the other thing you have to understand is that God calls the Jewish people, the Israeli people, the Hebrew people back to the land of Israel in the last days. He's calling them. And one of the important reasons is that Messiah is coming back, that Jerusalem is again becoming the city, the holy city. We're having, the borders of Israel have been established. So this is a very important thing, Natalie, for the Bible, and the place is getting ready for the return of Messiah. What happens if suddenly there's a huge amount of people who are not Israeli Jewish coming into the country? It really does make a difference. It's called the Holy Land, and the Bible says that out of Jerusalem will come forth the word of the Lord. So this is the land of Torah. This is the land where people observe Shabbat. This is the land where that, as I say, that's getting ready for Messiah, and suddenly we have this. So this movement.
You have all the feasts,
right? And
all the feasts are like Yom Kippur. There is no vehicle going around. I mean, it's different at any other countries. When Shabbat comes, you know that Shabbat is there. When you have kosher food, you don't need to hunt for kosher food. It's all around, and it's a different country.
And I know that Natalie's got some things to share to
Yeah,
share with
because
you.
again, we say like in Isaiah 2 that Torah will come out of Zion, okay, out of Jerusalem, and it's like you know how we love the Hebrew language. You know how we say that there is so much depth in it, so much truth. We spoke about truth already, and I was reading the Psalm 82, and I encourage you already a few times to find this book. There is 5 books. It's called the Tehillim and it's from Art Scroll Edition. Whoops, sorry. And in it, you have, for every chapter, you have an introduction, who wrote it, when, how, and you dig in it, and it's just amazing. And so I was reading the Psalm 82, which is very much about judgment, about like God is placing people to judge as judge, like solicitors and or like judges, the real judges, and that they are carrying the judgment of God for the people. So they need to know the Torah, they need to be wise, they need to be really special people set apart. And so in the introduction, they were speaking about the name Dashe, and Dashe is vegetation, and is what we see on the 3rd day of the creation. Again, because we go back into Genesis, we know that Genesis is the DNA of all the Torah, that God is unraveling things, and more you know the Hebrew language, more you can see amazing things through all the letters, and every letter in the Torah has her purpose. So it's like it's so much, and you carry on reading the first chapter of Genesis, and it's like so much treasure, and you dig, and there is level and level and level. Okay, so when you look at the name Dashe, which was vegetation, so God started to create vegetation for the earth, which was like for the animals to eat, for human to eat. It was so vital for the physical world to have Dashe. And when you take the words, it's like Dalet, Shin, and Aleph. And so Dalet is for Din, judgment, and Shin is for Shalom, and Aleph is for Emet. And so they say, like, as the vegetation in the physical world is so important, judgment and Shalom and peace are the 3 legs, I would say, of your chair, to be able to make the humanity being able to live the right way and in harmony. And so when you look at these three things, is part of our how to live. We can't live without shalom. We can't live without judgment to put order, and we can't live without emet. And emet is truth. And we can't live with all these lies all around. It's so difficult right now to be able to find the truth in what's happening in our governments. There is a level of sheker, of lies, that is just unbelievable. And when you look, again, we know that we are at the end of the time. We know that at the time of Noah, when there was the Mabul, the flood, is because there was wickedness, because Emet wasn't there anymore, because there was no Shalom, and because Din, the judgment, wasn't there, that it was all twisted. And God had to bring the Mabul, the flood, because the world was going into auto-destruction. And right now, do you remember what Jesus said? Like in the days of Noah, the Son of Man will come. And we can see that we are going into auto-destruction, and he has to come. But before the Son of Man comes, there is the son of perdition, or the son of lawlessness. And you see, lawlessness, sometimes it's like a big name for them, it's a big name for us, but lawlessness means that there is no judgment, there is no law. And the beautiful name in Hebrew is Torah. is the instruction that God has given us to live the right way. And so I really, really, really encourage you. You know also that I wrote a book which is called The Beauty of the Hebrew Language. Is just to start to give us a bit of knowledge of this Hebrew language. God created the earth, the heaven and the earth, by His speaking. And it was with Hebrew language, because it's the foundation stones of everything.
And you have to tell the people how they can get hold of the book.
You're right. You go on the website and you can find it there, and we can send it to you wherever you are in the world. Is not a problem. We can just do it, one for you, or if you want to study it as a group, we can do special price if you want 10 books. You know, we just send us a email on info@israelfirst.org, and we just sort out things with you. But I really, really encourage you, because it's so important.
Now, one of the interesting things is that as we come to the end of the age, there's all these different things happening in the world: lawlessness, terrorism, and wars. But we shouldn't be surprised. This is what the Bible says is going to happen, and the one world government. So thank you so much for joining us today. It's been great to have you with us. Please let us know where you're watching from. You can always contact us at info@israelfirst.org. Visit the website, a lot of information there. It's www.israelfirst.org. And remember, we're the program that looks at the land, the people, and the language.